Blake Lively is caught in old footage, revealing that yes, her secret plan is to always take control of the movies and lie to the director.
Penn Badgley is finally pulling back the curtain on Blake Lively, and trust me, the truth ain't pretty. While the world has been eating up her picture-perfect Hollywood glow-up, flawless hair, and charming smile behind the scenes, it's a whole different story. Mean girl energy doesn't even scratch the surface of what she was serving. And if you think this is just some overblown drama, wait till you hear how she nearly torpedoed Penn's entire career. But that's just the start. Alabama Barker just dropped a full-on diss track aimed straight at Pod Baby, and let's just say, she did not come to play. Plus, the conversation surrounding Justin Bieber's past just took a seriously dark turn. New allegations are swirling, suggesting that his own mother may have practically handed him over to Diddy. Yeah, it's that deep. We've got a whole lot to unpack, so let's jump right in. So, Blake's mask is slipping, and it's not a good look. There have been whispers about her shady treatment of co-stars before, but what she did to Penn, straight up ruthless. Imagine walking onto set, ready to work, only to realize that the lead actress, the one you're supposed to have on-screen romantic chemistry with, can't stand you and is actively making your life miserable. That's exactly what Penn was dealing with when Gossip Girl first started filming. And here's the kicker. Blake admitted it herself in an old interview. She straight up said she manipulated the cast against Penn. Her own words. She didn't want him there, she didn't like him, and she made sure everyone else fell in line. Now tell me, what kind of high school clique behavior is that? And the craziest part, Penn never did anything to deserve this. It took the cast an entire week to realize that Blake was just hating for no reason, while Penn was actually a solid guy. Make it make sense. Like, what was the real issue? Why go out of your way to make someone's life miserable when they're literally just existing? And let's talk about the long-term damage. While Blake was busy securing her spot as Hollywood's golden girl, Penn practically vanished. He only started resurfacing recently thanks to you. But after Gossip Girl? Yeah, he was low-key blacklisted. And now that we know what was happening behind the scenes, it's all starting to make way too much sense. Blake's influence in Hollywood? Massive. And it only grew after she married Ryan Reynolds, aka Ryan the Dragon. With the media eating out of her hand and A-listers in her back pocket, she had producers wrapped around her little finger. So when she made it clear that she wasn't rocking with Penn, that was all it took to put a serious dent in his career. And if you think this is a reach, let's look at what's going down right now with the It Ends With Us cast. People immediately clocked the weird energy at the movie's premiere. Blake and other cast members were clearly cutting Justin Baldoni out, just like she did with Penn. And if you think that's just a coincidence, take a look at Colleen Hoover's situation. When things started unraveling, she was so humiliated that she vanished from social media and even considered retiring. And even now that she's back, not a single trace of Blake on her Instagram. No tags, no mentions, nothing. And Blake's response? She unfollowed Colleen without saying a word. The patterns here are way too obvious to ignore. People have been questioning why none of the other It Ends With Us cast members have stepped up to defend Justin Baldoni. But let's be real. Just like Colleen Hoover, they're probably too embarrassed to admit they got played by Blake. She had them all under her spell, and now that the truth is coming out, nobody wants to admit they were fooled. Because here's the thing, Blake has been running the show for years. She's been out here pulling strings, controlling the narrative, and throwing people under the bus whenever it benefits her. This isn't just speculation. Journalists, former co-stars, and even some of her own fans have called her out. But somehow, time and time again, she manages to walk away looking squeaky clean. Well, not this time. Between her shady past with Penn and this messy lawsuit with Baldoni, her carefully crafted image is falling apart. And let's not forget the biggest plot twist. After all the hostility she showed Penn on Gossip Girl, they actually dated for 3 whole years. And then she dropped him like yesterday's news and ran straight into Ryan Reynolds' arms. And now, the leaked raunchy messages between her and Baldoni have people speculating. Could it be that she actually had a thing for Baldoni this whole time? Some believe that Penn was just another casualty in Blake's ruthless Hollywood power trip, and that she deliberately made sure he never got the opportunities he deserved. At this point, Blake might be a C-list actress who can't get things done without her husband's influence, but if there's one thing she's elite at, sabotage. She's got that down to a science. But while Blake's out here torching careers, Alabama Barker is out here torching reputations. Her diss track just put Bod Baby on blast. And whoo, the girl is ready to square up. And you know we can't just let that slide. The drama between Alabama Barker and Bod Baby is spiraling out of control. Alabama had been teasing a diss track for a minute, and when she finally dropped it, whew, she ate Bod Bobby up. No crumbs left. But let's not forget, this is all retaliation for Overcooked, Bod Bobby's latest track where she went in on Alabama with zero mercy. So yeah, consider this payback season, and things are getting real serious. Bod Baby isn't just throwing bars, she's throwing threats. She straight up said that if she ever crosses paths with Alabama, it's on. Like, we're talking about a full-blown showdown. And honestly, the way things are escalating, that might be happening sooner rather than later. Alabama better watch her back, because if you've been keeping up with Bod Baby, you already know she's not the type to let things slide. This girl stays unhinged. She's always been about that life, and let's be real. If she gets the chance to throw hands, she will. I would not put it past her to whoop Alabama in public and then flex about it on social media afterward. And let's not forget who we're dealing with. Bod Baby isn't just beefing with Alabama. She's always in drama. This girl has had problems with everybody. Her baby daddy, Soulja Boy, Tyga, her own mom. And let's not even get started on all the online fights she's had with half the internet. But this Alabama situation? It's different. This isn't just a little industry rivalry. The moment Alabama hopped in the booth and sent a little shade, Bod Baby snapped. She made it crystal clear. This is not just a rap battle. It's real life. And the way things are heating up, it's only a matter of time before this turns into something way bigger. All it took was one snippet. Alabama dropped a preview of her diss track, and Bod Baby lost it. She immediately started going off, calling Alabama fake, a liar, and straight up weird for even making a diss track in the first place. But what really set her off? Alabama acting like she never messed with her man. Bod Baby did not hold back. She called her out directly, saying, "Instead of being sorry, you're making diss tracks? Girl, what is wrong with you? You don't make no sense. You're coming for me like you didn't fight with my man. If you were really sorry, you would have just said it. But nah, you'd rather be messy." And while Baby is out here raging, Alabama, completely unbothered. She's still out here pushing her track, acting like Bod Baby's threats don't mean a thing. But let's be real, does Alabama really want that smoke? Because if these two ever cross paths, it's looking like a major showdown waiting to happen. And Alabama? She's doubling down. She even called out Levon for allegedly trying to get with her, and she didn't stop there. She threw shade at Bod Baby's looks, her surgeries, and even took shots at her parenting. Messy, messy, messy. And you already know Bod Baby wasn't about to let that slide. She clapped back hard, saying Alabama's track was straight up laughable, claiming she could never match her flow or delivery. But Alabama's diss track drama aside, let's not forget Bod Baby's never-ending issues with her mom, Barbara. And get this, just days after Barbara and Bod Baby's little WWE-style showdown, Barbara is now defending her daughter. Yeah, you heard that right. She's not about to let Soulja Boy or her baby daddy Levon keep messing with Baby. And she's starting with Levon. Barbara is calling him out for allegedly trying to isolate Baby from everyone around her, just so he can keep full control over her money? This situation is getting crazier by the minute. And if that wasn't messy enough, Barbara exposed Levon for allegedly still messing around with his other baby mama while living in Bod Bobby's house. If that's true, then this man is running a whole scam. He's constantly being accused of ruining her career, sabotaging her relationships, and, let's be real, the most concerning part? Controlling her money? But before you go thinking Barbara finally decided to step up and actually defend her daughter, think again. This wasn't some heartfelt motherly moment. It turned into a straight-up war of words. Because Levon? He fired back just as hard. He put Barbara on blast, calling her a hypocrite and claiming that the only reason she's mad is because she no longer has access to Bod Bobby's bank account. And if you remember how things used to be, yeah, we all know how that went down. And then, Levon crossed a line. He brought up a deeply personal incident that never should have been aired out, especially without Bod Baby's permission. He accused Barbara of choosing men over her own daughter time and time again. And then, in a shocking revelation, he claimed that one of those men, S.A.D. Bod Bobby, and Barbara covered for him. He straight up said that Barbara expected Bobby to stay silent about it. By the end of this bitter exchange, one thing was crystal clear. Bod Bobby has only been surrounded by toxic people her whole life. She's been used by the very people who should have been protecting her. And if she doesn't break the cycle soon, it might be too late. And let's not forget, while all this chaos is unfolding, nobody seems to be looking out for Bod Baby's well-being. She's literally been saying she has cancer. This girl needs love and support, not this circus. It's wild how so many young stars have the exact same story. Bad influences, toxic environments, and a childhood that was never really theirs. If you thought Bod Baby's story was messy, Justin Bieber's rise to fame was just as chaotic, if not worse. And the people closest to him? Yeah, they played a huge role in his struggles. Most people don't realize that Justin Timberlake and Usher were literally fighting over who would sign him first. It seemed like a dream come true, but behind the scenes, the real story is way messier. And now, with fresh rumors about Justin struggling mentally, people are pointing fingers once again at his mom, Patty Millette. Some say she sold her son out, while others think she had no choice. But to really understand why Patty made the decisions she did, especially when it came to handing Justin over to Diddy, we need to take a closer look at her life. Because the answer? It's right there. And trust me, you won't believe just how dark things got for both mother and son. Patty went through hell, no doubt about it. But did her own past cloud her judgment when she allowed her teenage son to be around industry giants like Usher and Diddy without proper supervision? Because looking back, that decision raises a lot of red flags. Patty had Justin when she was just 2 weeks shy of her 18th birthday. She was raising him alone in a low-income neighborhood, working multiple jobs just to keep the lights on. That alone paints a picture of a turbulent childhood. And if that wasn't enough proof of how rough things were, Patty herself later confirmed that it was the darkest period of her life. And here's where things get even worse. Patty was taken advantage of starting at just 13 years old. What she endured? Heartbreaking. And when you look at her past, it makes you wonder, was she too damaged to see the warning signs when it came to Justin's safety? Or did she really think she was doing what was best for him? From as early as 13 years old, Patty was already caught up in a vicious cycle. Substances and alcohol became her escape from the trauma she was carrying. By the time Justin's YouTube fame skyrocketed him into the industry, she was still battling the demons of her past. So when Scooter Braun and Usher came knocking, she saw it as a blessing. Finally, people with power and connections were willing to take Justin under their wing. She was the one signing his contracts, the one making the big calls, and ultimately the one trusting the industry to look out for her son. But was she too trusting? Because that single misjudgment put Justin in some seriously dangerous situations, like the infamous 2009 incident where a 15-year-old Bieber spent 48 hours at Diddy's house. And let's be real, why was that ever allowed? This wasn't just some innocent studio session. Even Diddy himself bragged about what went down, saying they went full buck crazy during that time. And now, with Diddy facing serious accusations of trafficking and predatory behavior, people are looking back at that moment and realizing just how wildly inappropriate it really was. Fast forward to today, and the word on the street is that Justin wants nothing to do with Diddy. People close to him say he's been trying to distance himself for a long time. And honestly, can you blame him? The industry chewed him up and spit him out, leaving him to navigate a cutthroat world full of predators. All while his mother, whether naive or just too overwhelmed, let it happen. There's no doubt that Patty loved her son, but many still can't comprehend why. As someone who knew firsthand what it was like to be a victim of ill-intentioned adults, she willingly left her son in the hands of people she barely knew. Did it all come down to fame? Was the allure of stardom really worth the risk? Some argue that Patty's past trauma blinded her to the red flags, that she was so deep in survival mode she couldn't see the dangers ahead. Her life was a storm long before Justin ever took his first breath. Trauma, poverty, and heartbreak shaped every decision she made as a young mother. Decisions that ultimately led Justin down a path filled with power, fame, and, some say, dangerous influences. From the moment Justin's YouTube covers went viral, Patty was completely out of her depth. She wasn't just raising a son anymore, she was managing a global sensation. She had faith, she had instincts, and she had a desperate hope that she was making the right choices. But let's be real. Faith alone was never going to be enough to shield Justin from the dark realities of the industry. Even Patty herself admitted in her memoir that she was drowning in contracts, legal jargon, and industry pressures. And the worst part? She knew exactly what she was doing. She knew that by signing those deals, she was essentially selling away her son's childhood. And yet, she went through with it anyway, believing that God wouldn't have put her in this position just to fail. But looking back now, did she fail? Because with one signature, she handed over Justin Bieber to Usher and Diddy. And now, here we are. And one of the most chilling moments in all of this, Usher once proudly reminisced about how he didn't just mentor Justin, he delivered him to L.A. Reid like a gift when he was 14 years old. Reid immediately signed him, and 1 year later, at just 15, Justin was spending 48 hours at Diddy's house. And now, with Diddy facing multiple allegations of trafficking and predatory behavior, people are looking back at these events with a whole new level of fear for Justin. Did Patty unknowingly sell her son's innocence to an industry that devours young stars and spits them out? Or was she simply too blind to see the warning signs? What we do know is that Justin's connection with Diddy didn't last. Somewhere along the way, he started pulling back. But the real question is, was it already too late? Because let's be honest, Justin's struggles didn't just appear out of nowhere. His battles with substance use, his breakdowns, his constant war with his own image, none of it happened in a vacuum. It's not far-fetched to trace all of it back to the adults who were supposed to protect him. And at the center of it all, Patty Millett, a mother who undeniably loved her son, but a mother who may have, willingly or not, put him in harm's way. But when it comes to Justin's family drama, that's a whole different story. His dad, Jeremy Bieber, was barely in the picture, gone for an entire year at one point. And even when he was around, it was on his terms. Fast forward to recent years, and they've reconnected. At one point, Justin even admitted, "I'm a lot closer to my dad than I am my mom." But let's call it what it is. Jeremy was an absent father who popped in when it was convenient for him. What's clear is that Patty wasn't the only adult who failed Justin. The industry was full of people who saw a young, talented kid and thought of profit, not protection. And now, A source very close to Justin has revealed that he's been strongly advised to stay as far away as possible from anything and everything connected to Diddy. And around that same time, another source dropped a bombshell. And that's where the real question comes in. What exactly happened to Justin behind closed doors? And why is he so desperate to distance himself now? So, did Patty really protect Justin the way a mother should? Or did she just put her trust in the wrong people and hope for the best? Because looking back, this whole situation is looking shady at best. And let's not forget, this isn't the only drama that's got people talking. I know y'all got thoughts on all of this. Did Blake Lively really tank Penn Badgley's career on purpose? Is Alabama Barker taking things way too far? Or is Pod Baby just bitter because she got out-rapped? And then there's Justin Bieber's situation. Was he just another young star chewed up and spit out by the industry? Or is there more to this story than we even know? I need to hear what y'all think, so drop those takes in the comments. And if you love keeping up with the wildest Hollywood scandals, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications because we are just getting started. Trust me, the tea is non-stop, and you do not want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.